Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name's Andy, and if you're new here, I'm an aspiring first-time author currently working on revising her first fantasy novel that I'm hoping to self-publish sometime in the next year or so. If you're like me and you are doing anything creative, whether it be writing or some other project, sometimes you might find yourself asking the question, what's the point? What's the point in doing this? What's the point in working on something that might see the light of day? It might not, and there's no way to predict the impact that it might or might not have. Well, today I thought we'd talk about that because I think there is a point and I want to share it with you. I've got my setup over here, got my iced matcha. I got these cute little cups off Amazon and I'm currently obsessed with them, which has been a lot of fun to have cute little ice drinks to go. I am currently in the process of revising, and I'm in the third draft of. You're distracting me. I'm currently in the process of revising my debut fantasy novel, which is the first installment of a fantasy trilogy entitled House of Aphdos. And I'm wrapping up draft 3, or technically part 1 of draft 3. I actually just finished revising part 1, which is the first 13 chapters today, and I just uploaded those chapters to my Kindle. I'm going to keep pushing forward and revising parts 2 and 3 for the draft 3 revision, but I did not do a reread between draft 2 and draft 3 because I felt like I had a really clear picture of where the project was at, but I do want to get a good grasp of where it's at post draft 3 because I'm planning to send it off to beta readers once I finish up this draft, and I'd like to have a reread done before I do that. So currently that's where I'm at in my project. I literally just uploaded it to my Kindle before I started filming this video, so I'm excited to start rereading that and get into that a little bit more. I think the project feels so different at this point, which is really exciting. But one thing I was thinking about as I was working on this over the past few days was just, why am I doing this? What's the point? And not so much in like an existential crisis, is that how you say that? Not so much in that sort of way, but more so in a, what's my motivation? What's my reason? What's my why? When I get a little discouraged or I hit a hard point in the project, what's the point? Let's talk about that. Today I was reading a blog post by Veronica Roth, and I really liked a quote that she shared on there, so I wrote it down and I want to share it with you guys. This is from one of her recent posts, actually just a couple months ago. She said, "Just because you do something on purpose and as effectively as possible doesn't mean you don't love it or have passion for it. It means that because you love the thing, you want to give it the best possible chance of reaching the people you want it to reach." I thought this was a really interesting point. I think especially sometimes in the world of creating online and putting forth what you're working on, your passion projects, people can get it misconstrued that you aren't, this starving artist image or obsessive about your work or lost in this kind of romanticized version of what an artist or a writer is, and that sharing about your work somehow takes away the passion from it. And I don't think that's true. I think that Veronica really hit it right, the nail right on the head of the nose. What? Hit the nail on the head of the nose? Hit the nail on the head. What is that saying? I think she made a good point. I'm going to say that instead. I think that putting time and effort into sharing things about your work or bits of your work or the process behind your work ahead of it being out there, like having an author tube channel while you're still working on your own writing, I think it speaks to how much you care about your project, not the opposite. And I think that everyone has a different way of articulating their work and the progress that they're making on it. And I think that that's good because all of our work is a little bit different and unique to us. And that's important to kind of understand and welcome. So why do you pursue your passion? What's your purpose? Is it to pursue a creative calling that you feel in your life? Is it to feel creative fulfillment? Do you feel like you're sharing important work or headed towards really valuable things that you want to say to the world? Are you hoping for financial success or stability out of your creative work? Are you just doing this for fun or entertainment or because it brings you joy? All of these reasons are valid, whatever the driving force is behind why you create. That's an important question to know the answer to. And wherever it falls on that spectrum, that's a perfectly good reason to do what you're doing. And it's an important reason to understand. I think one thing that I've really started to grasp better in the last year about myself is kind of a personal mission statement within who I am as a creative person, my drive and my why. And on days when I'm not as motivated or I wonder if this project is worth it, that driving motivator, that mission statement I get to refer back to really helps me stay honed in on my work and not quit or walk away from it because suddenly I'm operating for something bigger in this creative pursuit, not just because I'm bored and this is what happens. But maybe that's where it started. Maybe I just was bored on a certain day and I started writing and now I'm here. I think the fact that I've chosen to invest in myself up until this point has really driven me to a new understanding of what I'm capable of as a creative and as an author and as a writer. And I would just encourage you to ask yourself those questions and find that why within yourself. And wherever it falls on that spectrum of meaning, that's okay and that's awesome. And that is a valid reason why. I think that how seriously, quote unquote, you choose to pursue your passion is not more or less valuable or correct to the way that someone else chooses to pursue it. Everybody's idea of how seriously they're able to take their work or pursue their work is so valid, especially because when you're in different seasons of life, whether you're a parent or you have a full-time job or you're able to work a part-time job and pursue your creative passions a little bit more freely, whatever life looks like for you right now, your level of seriousness for how you're able to approach your work might look completely different than somebody else, but you might be leaving it all out there just like somebody else every day, but your hours that you're able to put towards the work or the amount of words you're able to get done might look drastically different than someone else's version of taking their work seriously or pursuing it seriously. So I think one thing I've started to really take in the last, 6 to 9 months is that comparison, we always hear, is the thief of joy, but I've really learned that within creative work, comparison is kind of a moot point. There's no reason to look at what someone else is doing or their approach to their work and compare it to your own, because just as what you're creating is entirely unique to you, the process in which you create it is also entirely unique to you and completely justified and valuable. Another question that I've had to circle back to throughout this first year of working on this book is what made me start? What has kept me going? And what has made me want to quit? The answer to those three questions a lot of the time is your why. What made me want to start this project was a clear vision and inspiration for a story that I felt needed to be told that holds valuable truths about life and the world we live in, and it's my take on those things, and I want to share that with other people. What's made me want to quit is the moments when I think that vision has been lost in the work, where that clear picture I first had of Emery's story when I first picked up my laptop to start writing this a year ago, at points in this project, I felt like I've completely trailed off and lost it. And what's the point of trying to find it again? I might as well just scrap it and start over. But I still see that story in there. When I take a step back and I really look at the project and look at where I've come from where I started, I can see why quitting would be way bigger of a mistake than if I were to keep going and find what this story really is capable of being. And that's why I keep going. I think that ties into the ultimate purpose I feel in this, is that I feel like I'm meant to tell stories. I feel like it's a passion of mine and like I have things to put into the world that are valuable. And so do you. I think the biggest thing to take away in all of this is that your why, your reason, your point, whatever the point of this is for you, it's valuable, and it's valuable because you're valuable. And sometimes you just need to hear that. Your point, even if it's different from those around you, is valuable and important because your passions and your work matters. And those things matter because you matter. So if no one's told you that recently, all of these things, they're valuable because you're valuable and you're important and your work is important and your ideas are important and your pursuits, your creative ideas, the things that feel silly or like a pipe dream, they all matter. And that's all I really wanted to say in this video, is that the point is there's something bigger in all of this than just sitting down to work on some silly fun project that you started, or maybe it's a serious project or whatever it is. I hope this video is an encouragement to you. You've got this, and keep going, because I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to see what you're able to create. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy content like this, feel free to subscribe, stick around. I will be continuing to post about my revision journey and eventual publication journey in the self-publishing world with House of Aftos. So if you want to support me through revision as I go through this process, or support my channel, my Ko-fi link is in the description below, and I'd love to get a free coffee from you. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.